Well, a group of Navy SEALs are now taking food and medical supplies to the boys that are trapped down there. One Navy SEAL is even staying with them to provide reassurance, but it is two British divers who first found them who have decades of experience. Risking their lives for a lost soccer team who, until this moment, they had never met.
How many of you? 13? Brilliant. It's okay. It's okay. Many people are coming. We are the first. You have been here 10 days. You are very strong.
The rescuers who flew thousands of miles around the globe to dive miles down into these caves are known as some of the best in the world. They began diving as a hobby. Now Richard Stanton, a firefighter in his 50s, and John Volanthen, an IT consultant in his 40s, are known by their friends as the A-Team.
They are record breakers. They are real pioneers. And when people say more people have been to the moon than in some of these places, yeah, more people have been to the moon.
They've searched for people lost in caves from France to Mexico, including a group of soldiers, using equipment they themselves adapted to get through confined spaces and reach depths of up to 650 feet.
They've been challenged physically by the nature of the environment of an underground cave. They've been challenged mentally by the unknowns of what they were possibly going to find. The waters through which they were diving would undoubtedly have been murky. They've gone through a real roller coaster of emotion.
The challenge now, how to get the boys out.
You have to dive.
One option, these world-class divers may have to give lessons underground.
It's an immense challenge to train those youngsters to dive them out in a cave. Normally it can take months, if not years, to become a proficient diver. A safety line can also prove an entrapment. If you get tangled in it, then the risks are massively compounded.
Friends say if anyone can do it, these guys can.
They are calm and cool and very calculated, but I have absolutely no doubt that team will be rescued safely.
Those British divers become so adept in part because they learn to dive off the coast of the UK, where it is often a treacherous and very, very cold. But that just underscores, Craig and Chanel, what a challenge it's going to be to get those boys out when they are only beginners.
It's captivating. Like we said, the whole world is watching this one. Keir, thank you.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.